What would you do if you were born without arms and legs? Hey friends, welcome back to Story Studio 91, where we share amazing stories that can change your life. Today's story is about a real boy who showed the world that nothing is impossible. Let's begin. Once upon a time in a beautiful country called Australia, a baby was born. His name was Nick, but Nick was different from other babies. When the doctors looked at him, they were very surprised. Nick was born without arms. He had no legs either. His parents, Boris and Dushka, looked at their baby boy and felt very sad and scared. How will our son live? They wondered. How will he eat? How will he write? How will he play? But Nick's parents loved him very much. They decided that even though Nick looked different, he was still their wonderful son. They promised to help him live the best life possible. When Nick was a little boy, going to school was very difficult. The other children would stare at him. Some kids would point and whisper. Nick felt very lonely. He had no arms to hug his friends. He had no legs to run and play with them. Every day, Nick would ask himself, "Why am I different? Why was I born this way?" Nick tried many things that were hard for him. He learned to brush his teeth using his mouth. He learned to write by holding a pencil between his toes. Yes, his toes. Even though he had no arms and legs, Nick had two small toes on his left foot. Those tiny toes became his special helpers. When Nick was 8 years old, he felt so sad that he wanted to give up on life. He thought nobody liked him. He thought he could never be happy. He felt like he couldn't do anything that other kids could do. But then, something amazing happened. One day, Nick's mother showed him a newspaper article. It was about a man who also had a disability but was living a happy life and helping other people. Nick started to think differently. Maybe, Nick thought, I can help people too. Maybe I can show them that being different is okay. Nick decided to try harder. He practiced and practiced. He learned to swim using his body like a fish. He learned to play soccer by kicking the ball with his small foot. He even learned to type on a computer using his toes. His parents always told him, "Nick, you don't know what you can do until you try." When Nick went to high school, something wonderful happened. He started making friends. The other students saw how brave Nick was. They saw that even though he couldn't do things the same way they did, Nick never stopped trying. Nick joined the student council. He helped plan school events. He made people laugh with his jokes. Slowly, Nick realized something important. He wasn't different in a bad way. He was special in a good way. When Nick grew up, he had a big dream. He wanted to travel around the world and tell people his story. He wanted to help people who felt sad or different. He wanted to show them that everyone can do amazing things. So, Nick became a speaker. That means he would stand in front of hundreds and thousands of people and tell them his story. Can you imagine? A man with no arms and no legs, standing on a big stage, speaking to huge crowds. People from all over the world invited Nick to speak. He traveled to more than 60 countries. He spoke in schools, churches, and big stadiums. He told everyone the same message: never give up. You are special. You can do anything if you believe in yourself. One day, Nick went to Hawaii. There, he met a girl named Bethany. Bethany was a surfer who had lost her arm in a shark accident, but she didn't give up on surfing. Nick thought, if Bethany can surf with one arm, maybe I can surf with no arms and no legs. So, Nick tried to surf. The first time, he fell off the board. The second time, he fell again. The third, fourth, and fifth times, he kept falling. But Nick remembered what his parents taught him. You don't know what you can do until you try. Nick tried again and again, and finally, after many falls, Nick stood on the surfboard and rode a wave all the way to the beach. Everyone on the beach clapped and cheered for him. Nick had done something that seemed impossible. Nick's story gets even better. When Nick grew up, he met a beautiful woman named Canny. She loved Nick for who he was inside, his kind heart, his funny jokes, and his strong spirit. They got married and had 4 wonderful children together. Nick became a father. He played with his children, told them stories, and taught them important lessons about life. His children loved their daddy very much. not because of what he looked like, but because of how much love he had in his heart. What can we learn from Nick? Nick's story teaches us many important lessons. First lesson, never judge people by how they look on the outside. What matters is what's inside someone's heart. Second lesson, when something seems impossible, try anyway. You might surprise yourself with what you can do. Third lesson, being different is not bad. Everyone is special in their own way. Your differences make you you. Fourth lesson, if you fall down, get back up and try again. Nick fell off that surfboard many times before he succeeded, but he never gave up. Fifth lesson, you can turn your pain into power. Nick could have stayed sad his whole life. Instead, he used his story to help millions of people around the world. Today, Nick has written many books. He has his own organization called Life Without Limbs that helps people all over the world. He has spoken to more than 3 million people. Nick says his favorite message is this: if God can use a man without arms and legs to be his hands and feet, then he can use any willing heart. Remember, friends, it doesn't matter if you're tall or short, fast or slow, good at math or good at art. What matters is that you never give up on your dreams. What matters is that you are kind to others. What matters is that you keep trying, even when things are hard. Just like Nick, you can do amazing things. Wow, what an incredible story, right? Nick showed us that our biggest challenges can become our greatest strengths. If this story inspired you today, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now and listen. If you want to hear more amazing, true stories like this one every single day, make sure you subscribe to Story Studio 91 and ring that notification bell. We post a new inspiring story every day at 6 a.m. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it today. Maybe a friend, a family member, or someone who's going through a tough time. Let's spread hope together. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one thing you learned from Nick's story? I read every single comment. Remember, friends, you are special. You are loved. You can do amazing things. See you tomorrow with another incredible story. Until then, keep believing in yourself. This is Story Studio 91, where every story has the power to change your life.